So our Week 13 Fantasy Football Waiver Wire show, going to do a Week 13 Onward Fantasy Football Draft and review Week 12, what happened there, and discuss everything. As you can see, I'm flying solo tonight. Kenny's traveling for Thanksgiving, and I didn't really want to, ask anyone to come on during the holiday week. They might be busy. I would usually ask like Butters or Nuggets to come on, but I figured they would either be busy or it might be too tough for them to come on with the holiday schedule and whatnot. Plus, today's not going to be like that long of a show. You have to do some work because this is a short week with the 3 Thanksgiving games and then the Black Friday games. So I have to get a lot of stuff done here. But you guys know the deal. If I'm flying solo, then there's no threat of cancellation for anyone. So you can ask me any questions you'd like. But really, any questions go. I will answer them all. Before we get into everything, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit walterfootball.com, and visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, I'm wearing something from the merch store. It is the November is Sloth month. Now that I found the shirt, I'm going to wear it every day. Well, I've only worn it 3 days in a row, but that's fine. So yeah, you can go there. The merch store right here, 20% off sale right now. You can change the colors of every shirt. You can get hoodie, you can get women's tank top, you can get infant onesie, and if you're a deranged person, you can get long sleeve t-shirt. I don't understand why people wear long sleeve t-shirts, but I guess some people do. You can get mugs. We have our famous apron. Bucker was right. A bunch of other mugs. Our baseball cap, hindsight's 50-50. We have a bunch of stuff here. You can go to Amazon, buy my books. Jerks of the College Years is the most recent one where I made fun of people I met at Penn State. The first one was a safety and a field goal, which was a top 5 topic book, mostly serious stuff, but some fun stuff. Talked about how an NFL coach was passed out in the back of a cab, and how an NFL player was so timid around a female reporter that he spilled coffee all over her. All that stuff's in this book, so you check that out. All right, let's see how the DraftKings is going. We have 10 at 12, so it's going to load soon. It was on Pancake says, good evening. Question for you. I have Hampton, Bucky, Henderson, and Rico. Assuming they all play, which 3 would you start this week and for the rest of the season? Okay, so Bucky should be back. The question is, is he going to get the full workload this week? I just don't know that. I trust Henderson more against the Giants' run defense. Giants' run defense is so bad. And then Rico Doodle against the Rams defense is pretty tough. I don't think he's going to be able to do very much. So if I would say if Hampton's back, I'd go Hampton and Henderson, and then Bucky would be number 3. Rest of the season's tough because there's so many matchup dependent scenarios with that. But I would say in order, I would think you would go Bucky, then I guess Bucky, then Henderson, then Hampton, and then Rico. That's how I would order it. But again, it really depends on the matchup and whatnot. So, feel free to come back every Tuesday. We can discuss that, or any other day of the week. We do shows Tuesday through Friday in the live stream. So the Wednesday through Friday are picks against the spread. But you can always ask a question about fantasy there. Kenan Dolik says, hey, 8-4. Congratulations. Would you trade away Javonte, Franklin, Bowers to get JT, Sutton, and Gadsden? Surprised you still can trade with the trade deadline. All right, so Javonte Williams, Troy Franklin, Brock Bowers to get Jonathan Taylor and Sutton and Gadsden. I would love to get Jonathan Taylor. Just keep in mind this is a tough matchup this week against Houston, but he's so matchup proof. You get the huge upgrade at running back. I would say an upgraded receiver, not a huge one, but an upgrade, and then downgraded tight end. But that Raider offense seems so broken to me, so I wouldn't mind that trade at all. My running backs are Kyron Jacobs, Javonte, Emmanuel Wilson, Corum, Tootin. My receivers are Jason Lamb, Franklin Watson, Godwin. A trade deadline tomorrow morning. Yeah, I think I would do that trade. Yeah. Another draft. Perhaps you can share with us how many this makes. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. Slow. It's a lot. What more am I picking? Number 8 looks like. Yeah, number 8. Okay, I haven't picked number 8 in a couple weeks. I don't think it seems like not a familiar number. This is if I had to guess, I know I did 205 before the season started, and I've done about 8 to 10 each week. Let's call it 8. to be safe. So we've had 12 weeks, so that's 96. So yeah, we're looking at this might be my 302nd draft, which before the season started, I said I was going to try to do 300 drafts. So it's the prophecy's been fulfilled. But yeah, hopefully I win one of these. It would suck to just not win anything here, or at least get to the championship in a couple. That would be nice. So again, this is week 13 onward, which means anyone who hasn't had their bye week, this is a 14-week season, really. So it's only weeks 13 and 14 until the playoffs. So if you draft someone who's in week 14 bye, such as Christian McCaffrey, they're missing half the season. So unless you're getting them super late, like if McCaffrey fell to me at 308, I would consider him. 108, 205, no way. And McCaffrey's going to go first round. I already did a draft like this earlier tonight, and McCaffrey went first round. I'm just like shaking my head. It's like, you're not going to get him for half the regular season. Like, good luck. So thanks for paying the rake here. Fannin or Juwan Johnson the rest of the season? I'd say Fannin. I think Fannin has more upside, but I don't mind Juwan Johnson either. We'll see. We don't have a big sample size on Tyler Shuck. So Shuck could get better. Right? He had a decent game against Carolina, was downgraded last week, but he could rebound this week. He has an easy matchup. So yeah, right here, McCaffrey is listed as the top player after Nakua. I almost combined them and said Makua. But yeah, just excuse me, because this is going to be, it's pretty tough to do a show on your own. Just have to talk nonstop. There can't be any dead time, right? So, all right, Nakua's gone. I am not taking McCaffrey. I took St. Brown at 11. I did the draft earlier tonight. I had the 11th pick. I took St. Brown at 111, then Rashee Rice at 202. I'm going to take James Cook here and see how different this team is. What else do we have here? You might be the Joey Chestnut of DraftKings drafts. I guarantee I have not done the most. I've done a lot. I might be in like the top 10, but I think there are some guys who do like 500 to 1,000 drafts. Like, just keep in mind that the max entry in this, I don't think you can see on the screen here. Actually, you might be able to. Yeah, look, it says. Actually, it doesn't say here. The rules say. And it's not here on the rules, but you're allowed 43 entries for this contest. So I'm not going to do 43 entries. I just don't have the time to do it. I'm sure there are some guys who just load up every draft, and I'm sure they do multiple drafts at once. I've done multiple drafts in the before, but not that often. So this D Hayes guy took McCaffrey at 109. Like, I wonder if he knows about how this regular season is just 2 weeks. Like, you just can't take McCaffrey in the first round. It's insane. Like, imagine taking someone in your fantasy draft in August and you're like, okay, he's going to be out for the half the year, but I'm going to take him the first round. It's like, okay, why would you do that? Like, even third round seems like a little risky. Like, I'd take him 308, but I wouldn't feel like that great about it. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to have him for week 14, so I better have some good options week 14. So it's basically like, all right, I better have some good options for the second half of the season. If you drafted him in real life, or I guess first half of the season would make more sense. So yeah, Rashee Rice goes 112. So he doesn't get to, it's funny that I took St. Brown at 111 and Rashee Rice at 202, and neither of them made it to their respective spots here. Pickens, interesting. 111. He goes before CD Lamb. This guy on auto draft already. I love doing drafts at night. It's so much easier. Like, when I do drafts in the afternoon, I'm like, man, I barely get anyone I want. And at night, my team's just so much stronger. So I guess I'm going double running back, or maybe Devontae Adams, because I already took a running back. So Saquon doesn't seem that great. So it's either Kyron Williams or Devontae Adams. I'm going to take Devontae Adams. It's such a touchdown machine. So yeah, we're going to start our draft that way. Cook and Adams. Let's see. I have Seattle's defense. I think week 15, 16, they have extremely tough games on waiver wires. There's Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and the Saints. Which defenses would you pick up and start those weeks? I don't even know who they're playing. Let's pull up the schedule here. So week 15. Well, let's look at Seattle's game. So you said they're tough first. Seattle plays the Colts. Okay, and then they play. I think they play the Rams week 16. I know that. Yeah, Thursday night. Okay. So you're asking about Pittsburgh and Kansas City and New Orleans. So Pittsburgh in week 15, who did they play? The Dolphins. That's fine. And then week 16 they played the Lions. So I mean, you're only gonna have them for 1 week. The Chiefs play, and the Chiefs play who they play. The Chargers, who have a horrible offensive line, so that's a good matchup. And then plus they have revenge there. And then in week 16 they play the Titans. So yeah, I would say that the Chiefs for sure. Saints play the Jets here, and they play the Panthers. That's pretty good too, but the Chiefs have a better defense than the Saints, so I think I'd go Chiefs, then Saints, and then the other options that you said before, the Steelers. So yeah, try to get the Chiefs for sure. All right, as this draft is going, I'm going to review some of these games here. Try to find the right tab. That is my power rankings. I actually don't think I have it open, so let's pull up the recaps. And see what happens. So yeah, Kenny's traveling. Kenny's actually probably close to me right now. He's we both went to the same high school together, so we live around the same area. So he's I don't know if he's in Philly yet, but I know he's traveling right now, so he couldn't make it on. All right, Texans 23, Bills 19. So Josh Allen got sacked 8 times. I actually counted 9 times. They kept saying 8 times. I counted 9, but I don't know. I trust NFL stats more than me. But yeah, Allen just a horrible game here. Another horrible game in Houston. He had a rough game, an even worse one. In I think it was like week 4 last year, and that was after they got blown out by the Ravens. So he did bounce back after that. I believe Buffalo won in a blowout after that. So maybe the same thing will happen against the Steelers. James Cook was the lone bright spot. That was mostly a 45-yard carry. Khalil Shakir came back from having some bad games. 8 for 110's nice. Keon Coleman was suspended again, or not suspended. Coach's decision, DNP again. So I don't know what's going on with him. He's been such a big disappointment. I know a lot of people were high on him this year, and yeah, he's been such a letdown. Nico Collins, 355 is the leading receiver. Jaden Higgins coming on. He was the final piece of our parlay, which hit 4 for 38. He had 9 targets, more than anyone. Collins got a little banged up though, so he probably would have had more targets had he stayed healthy. And once again, Woody Marks had way more carries than Chubb, 16-6. So you can forget about Chubb. You know, he's just a backup at this point. So yeah, let's see where I am. I'm gonna be up in 4 picks. So we had Jacobs, Collins, Brown, Javonte Williams, Brock Bowers, Jalen Waddle, Buka, and ATN go. Kind of wild to see ATN at 304. I got him at 402 in the draft I did earlier tonight. McConkey goes. Did anyone else from week 14 go yet? I don't think so. So this D Hayes guy made the only mistake. So I'm gonna be up in 1 pick. Henderson is tempting, but he is week 14 bye. So I wonder if that guy's gonna take him again. Bucky Irving's coming back this week. They say he's gonna be ready. Again, I don't know how healthy he is, but you know, the fact that he's going on the field is something. So I would consider him against an Arizona defense that's pretty average. There's Chris Olave, Devontae Smith, Jameson Williams has been getting a lot more targets. Not so much last week, but what about other running backs? We have there's Genty. You know, I like all these guys. Breece Hall. Bucky's just such a he's such a risk just because we don't know where we're going to get him. And like Sean Tucker could split the touches there. I'm going to go Breece Hall and then see what else happens. And I have a feeling this guy took 2 running backs already. I was going to say that he's going to take Henderson, but he already took 2 running backs. So I don't think D Hayes is going to give us another week 14 pick. The guy in auto draft might do it though. So anyway, we had a question here from Hey Butters. Interesting stat I saw on Twitter, though you can't always trust the internet. Shamari DK possibly on pace for 27-20 all-purpose yards. Well, I know that because he keeps returning punts against me whenever I bet against him, which I guess is every week to be fair. But it's been so brutal. The special teams variance going against our picks every single week. Like I don't think we've had a single special teams return go in our favor this year. Like it started week 3 when Jordan Davis blocked that kick and then returned it. And then it's been every single week, just return, or like muff punt. I don't understand what's happening here. Like I would love to get a kick return our way once in a while. It would be very nice. By the way, D Hayes took another running back with Ashton Genty. Not Travion Henderson. So Henderson hasn't gone yet. I wouldn't take him at 405. I don't even know if I was going to take a lot of it. I don't even think about it at 508, really. Just missing half the season's really rough. So Devontae Smith or Jameson Williams. Devontae Smith's been better overall this year, but I think Jameson Williams has the higher floor, or sorry, the higher ceiling, I should say. Like he has like some 26s. I don't know, I'm gonna go Jameson Williams. I just think that you have to kind of shoot for the stars in these best ball drafts. This were like regular draft, I think I'd go Devontae Smith, but I just want the upside. Saints defense has the easiest fantasy playoff schedule ranking. I mean, yeah, they look pretty easy for sure. The problem is that they don't have a good defense, So I'd rather have the Chiefs than the Saints. Texans win, yeah. Congrats. We had the Texans not for a bet, but as a zero unit play. So congrats on that. 6-5, so nice. Who do I drop for Neil? Burden, Jordan, Mason, Tootin, Corum. Definitely not Corum. He's a high value backup. I guess Mason is too because Aaron Jones is so injury prone. You could do Burden. I like Burden's getting more touches, or targets. I don't think he's going to be just this monster receiver this year. Maybe next year. I don't think DJ Moore is going to be around much longer, so it could be a Burden. I would say between Burden and Tootin, like depending on which position you need less. Like if you're stacked at running back, you can drop Tootin. If you're more stacked at receivers, drop Burden. If it's even. I don't know. I'd say Burden just because. No, actually, I'd say Tootin because you're picking him a running back, But I guess if the numbers don't matter, then I would go Burden just because there's less of a path for him to have insane upside. Like if ATN goes down, Tootin's gonna be a monster. If Conner goes down, Corum's gonna be a monster. If Aaron Jones goes back down, Jordan Mason's gonna be a monster. Burden though, like he would need Odunze and Moore to go down, I guess, like or two, or maybe Loveland as well. Like there's just so many targets in Chicago. I just don't see Burden can have some decent games, but he's never going to be someone that you're going to absolutely want to start. So let's get to the overall draft board. So we're beginning round 5 now. I'm going to go to our next game, which was Chiefs 23, Colts 20. Daniel Jones had a solid game until the fourth quarter. Then kind of reminded me of Jimmy Garoppolo in the Super Bowl or some big games where he plays well for 3 quarters and then just has this meltdown in the fourth quarter. It's like the opposite of Bo Nix. He just didn't do anything in the fourth quarter. Jonathan Taylor couldn't run at all. The credit the Chiefs defense for shutting him down. Chiefs previously struggled against the run, but 16 for 58 is great. Tyler Warren really the only Colts receiver / tight end doing anything. Ashton Doolin had a big play, but that was it. Michael Pittman caught a touchdown, but that was it. Alec Pierce's disappointment, only 1 for 26. Rashee Rice, monster game. Mahomes just kept going back to him over and over again when he needed to. Hunt had a great fourth quarter. Pacheco should be back soon though, so don't get too excited about Hunt. And then Mahomes, he finally scrambled more than once, and coincidentally they won. He wasn't scrambling for a while, and I'm up now. I'm gonna be up in 1 pick, so let me make this pick here. I have 2 running backs, 2 receivers. There's Walker, who's interesting. I don't want Swift because he's seemingly lost his job to Monangai. Marks is interesting as well for receivers. Higgins basically has a week 13 bye because he's concussed. He might be out week 14 as well. McMillan, I can't take him. Diggs, I can't take him. Sutton's here. And then tight end Ferguson, Stafford, maybe 6th round. So who are we talking about? Walker, Marks, Sutton. I'm going to take Walker, I guess. Walker's starting to get some goal line carries, so he could have a really strong finish. So anyway, Mahomes started scrambling, and lo and behold, they win. Unfortunately, he didn't scramble after we bet him to scramble. I bet him at over 33.5 rushing yards, and the final 2 drives he just didn't scramble at all. So I don't know why. He actually tried to do it once, but he got sacked before he can cross the line of scrimmage. But that was disappointing. Otherwise, the Chiefs didn't cover either, even though they won. So that was disappointing too. Even though most people said that the Colts should be favored. According to all the podcasts I listened to throughout the week. Kind of reminded me of the Lions game when the Chiefs lambasted the Lions, but Colts fought tough. They lost, but I thought it was a good showing for them, so nothing to be ashamed of there. And I'm gonna be up in 4 picks here. I believe the receiver I have is still there, Courtland Sutton. Which is not a surprise because Sutton has been a little disappointing lately, but I think he has the potential to really get going here. And it's nice that he gets a start at start this season, this quote unquote season here, against the Redskins on Sunday Night Football, which I don't understand why that hasn't been flexed, by the way. I like did NBC forget that they could flex the game? Just absurd. Tricky Baby, by the way, took Hurts and May, and then D Hayes took Ferguson and Gadsden. So this is what I'm talking about. Like these people draft late at night. They seem to be on a different level than those who draft in the daytime. So I'm going to take Sutton here. Maybe I'll get Bo Nix later or something. So 3 running backs, 3 receivers, looking pretty good so far. All right, so let's get back to. Oh, we have a question. Let's see. 2 questions. Is Kincaid worth picking up off waivers? Depends who you have. You know, I'm not a big fan of carrying 2 tight ends. If you have a bad tight end situation, then I'll consider it. If you don't really need a tight end, then I'll just let him sit there. Trade Quentin Johnston, Rome Odunze, and Rico Doodle for Kyron and Devontae Adams. Yeah, I would do that. Devontae Adams is a monster. He's just getting Devontae Adams has the most end zone targets this year. Stafford just loves targeting him in the end zone, which that's what Aaron Rodgers did for years. So it's 1 is an accident, 2 is a trend. Like Devontae Adams is just going to keep catching touchdowns. And Kyron Williams, it's not ideal that they're on the same team, but they could both have big games together. Rico Doodle, I don't trust him. You saw Chuba Hubbard getting some touches on Monday night. Odunze is so hit or miss. And Quentin Johnston's really not doing anything because that offensive line sucks, and Herbert just doesn't have enough time to throw. All right, so the next game we're reviewing is Patriots 26, Bengals 20. This is really frustrating because we had the Patriots -7. There's a backdoor cover, but there were 10 plays here. The Patriots had at the 1-yard line, like 10 plays that could not get a touchdown on any of those 10 plays. You think like one play that can get in the end zone. They only ran the QB sneak once too. It's like, if you guys not heard of the QB sneak, it's this good play that the Eagles run all the time, basically with tush push. Why not do that? It just seems like it felt like the Eagles, if they had 10 chances at the 1, they would have scored all 10 times. Patriots could not score a single time. The Bengals had 6 offensive points until that garbage time touchdown. They scored in a pick 6, but then the Patriots got a pick 6. Chase Brown had a nice game. Yoshivas led the team receiving. Higgins was a big disappointment considering that there's no Jamar Chase in this game. Hunter Henry, Cincinnati is, I always say Seattle's the worst team against tight ends. Cincinnati is worse than them now. We live bet Henry. I think it was like over 63.5 receiving yards. He hit 115, and I was so sad that I didn't ladder it. I considered it, but like the numbers weren't great. I should have just done it because it was so easy. The linebackers on the Bengals are so bad. Like they're so bad. It's pretty pathetic. But anyway, the big story here, sadly, is that Will Campbell got hurt. So he's out for the year. The left guard got hurt too, Jared Wilson. He's not that good, so not that big of a deal. But they lose depth. So if they have another injury to guard, then suddenly they could be in trouble. Also, Morgan Moses, the right tackle, got banged up, but he only missed a few plays. He came back, but still, it's a big downgrade. The Patriots have a left tackle, and that could be their undoing. Not that I really thought they were going to make the Super Bowl anyway this year, but I don't know. It just feels like they're going to be worse without their left tackle. So let's see. We have 4 picks to go before my pick. Actually, 3 now. Metcalf's injured. I'm going to start Alec Pierce. I don't know. Jane Daniels coming back, I guess. We could take Samuel. It's not that exciting. Oh, never mind. He just went. I'm going to start Charbonnet. I don't think I'm going to take him here, though. Tight end Andrews, 7th round. A little too early. So I usually say that when there's not a running back or receiver that I'm in love with, I just go quarterback or tight end. So we're going to go with Daniel Jones. I know he has a tough week 13 matchup, but we're going to supplement it with some other quarterbacks too. So let's go Daniel Jones. You could always get the carries and stuff like that. And so it's not a bad option. Herbert, I know this guy's pairing him with Gadsden, but he's just he just kind of his fantasy his fantasy status is like a shell of his former self just because the offensive line is so banged up. Jordan Love 7-11 is kind of nuts. I took him let's say like 10th round earlier today. I don't know why that happened. And I don't think there's any correlation either. So I don't understand. Maybe he wanted to take Watson, and this guy took Watson away from him. So it's unfortunate. Jacoby Brissett goes before Bo Nix. It's kind of crazy. All right, let's. I think we're gonna take Bo Nix. Yeah, because we have Sutton. And maybe Bo Nix could carry us through week 13 because he plays the Redskins. So should be a good performance from him. Vrabel kicked the field goal from the 1 foot line. I know. Flashback to John Madden with the Raiders. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really get that. I understood it like a little bit, but I still disagree with the decision just because they've had so much lack of success there. But I don't know. Even if you don't get it, the Bengals are stranded at the 1-inch line. So, like, what could they possibly do? So I don't know. I don't understand. Maybe he was just frustrated. I could understand that. How do you feel about Hampton if he plays? Should I start him or Harvey? The problem with Hampton is his offensive line is so beat up. I don't think the Chargers could block anymore. So I would start Harvey, even though he may not get all the carries. I think that he just has a better opportunity to have some run blocking in front of him. All right, let's get to the next game, which is the Ravens 23, Jets 10. Lamar Jackson still not looking good. 7 scrambles this time, better than 2 that he had against Cleveland, but wasn't really running anywhere. Also 13 of 23, 153. Evan Daniel, by the way, he had the Ravens in Survivor, in the Circus Survivor, which pays out $15 million, $60 million. And he was he was losing it when the Jets were leading. He texted me, he's like, I can't believe I'm gonna lose with a 14.5-point favorite with a Tyrod Taylor on the other side. Luckily for him, not luckily, but I guess it's good news for him that the Ravens were able to prevail. But not great showing here against one of the worst teams in the NFL. I know they won by 13, but the line is 13.5, so they technically disappointed. Henry scored 2 touchdowns, but wasn't really running anywhere. I don't really know what's going on with the Ravens outside of like Lamar Jackson just not being healthy, and maybe when he gets healthy, that'll help things. Breece Hall, 16 of 44, but he had 4 for 75 receiving. So I feel like he's kind of matchup proof because he gets there either running or receiving. So I was happy to take him in this draft, which so let's see where we are here. Yeah, so 308 is pretty good, I think, for Breece Hall. So we're starting round 9 right now. Devin Neal goes 901 as Alvin Kamara is injured. Anyway, as far as the Jets concerned, John Mechie, 6 for 65 and a touchdown. That's really cool to see because Mechie was considered a good prospect coming out of Alabama, and then he had cancer. He had another injury too. It feels like he's finally becoming the player that, or at least somewhat of a player that we thought he might be. So that's cool to see. Hopefully, this is not like a fluky performance because he also caught a touchdown the previous week. Hopefully it's not fluky and he can continue to play well. It'll be a cool, a comeback story of sorts. I don't know if he can quite win comeback player of the year because it's too late, but I guess like just a great story, like perseverance and stuff like that from him. So. Okay, so I'm up in 4 picks, and you can see what we have left here. Charbonnet, by the way, I started him before he's still here. I'll take him round 9. I just thought round 7 and 8 was too early. And we have 3 running backs anyway. It's not like we're dying for a running back. So there's Worthy, Allen. Worthy's kind of banged up. Otherwise, I would consider him here. There's Pearsall, Godwin, Higgins. Nothing exciting. I like Higgins, but round 9 seems like a touch too early. Although 13, 9, and 15, there's a 13 there. He's really coming on. Look at these targets. 9, 7, 7. There was a 1 here, but that was against the Broncos. 8. This guy is really emerging here. Maybe he is worth taking here. I'd probably consider him now, especially with CJ Stroud coming back. Tight ends. I feel like we can get some tight ends later. I saw Gesicki go like round 17. I was like, all right, I'll take him there. You need 3 tight ends, but still, you can. I'm not like dying to taking Cade, who may not be healthy. Let's see what they say about him. He's improving in his recovery, so he may not be able to play this week. So he could miss half the season as well. All right, let's take Higgins. Just because he's starting to come on. He had the post rookie bump. He could finish really, really well here with CJ Stroud coming back from injury. Okay, so yeah, real quick, let's run to the next game, which is Bears 31, Steelers 28. Mason Rudolph had interception, another turnover. Caleb Williams had 3 touchdowns, but he lost the fumble in the end zone. He held the ball forever, though. It's kind of like the announcer was even like, "What was Caleb doing there?" But he had some good moments, some bad moments. Typical Caleb performance. Big test coming up against the Eagles, and I wrote this up on my picks page today. When I was like, okay, he didn't really have a tough test against the Steelers with all their injuries, and I'm like, wait, when has Caleb been tested this year? And he's only played against 2 teams. I'm gonna be up soon. He's only played against 2 teams in the top 10 of EPA defense this year. One was against the Lions, where he scored 21 points in garbage time. The other was against the what was it? The Ravens, where he scored 16 points. So he really hasn't done anything against top competition. So it's you can be concerned about that. Let's see, a running back we're taking, really, a receiver. I guess there's Mooney, who's finally did something last week. Tight end. Hunter Henry's week 14, so we can pass on him. And then a quarterback, nothing really. So let's go with Darnell Mooney, I guess, as our 5th receiver. Let's queue up some guys for later. So I need a tight end. So Schultz makes sense. Brenton Strange is Trevor Lawrence's favorite weapon. Maybe we can pair him with Lawrence on the way back or something. Not that I'm excited about doing that with Trevor Lawrence. He's so overrated. But yeah, we'll probably take one of these tight ends on the way back. So anyway, you guys can see what's happening here. As far as everything else with the Steelers and Bears, let's pop to this window. DJ Moore, 2 touchdowns. I was really tilted because I had a great DFS lineup. I had everyone had Gibbs and Emmanuel Wilson. I also had JSN. He was on 8%. I was like, man, this is great. I had Gibbs, Emmanuel Wilson, JSN. I had Goff, who's okay. I had the Browns defense. They did well. And then like the only 2 guys really hurting me were my 2 receivers outside of JSN, who were Jameson Williams and Rome Odunze. Odunze 8.3 fantasy points. Jameson Williams had a 0. He didn't do anything. So tilted. And I cashed, min cash. Like, felt like if they had just the average games, I would have done really well. So that was that was a big disappointment. So anyway, let's get to the DraftKings window. Okay, we're fine. All right, so anyway, Steelers here. Metcalf got hurt. Just keep that in mind. Kenneth Gainwell had more yards, but he had a 55-yard carry compared to Warren. Warren went 18 for 68 in the touchdown. Bears defense is really bad with the 2 linebackers out. All right, Lions 34, Giants 27. Jameis Winston was awesome in this game until the end. Typical Jameis Winston completed half his passes, but for 366, 2-1. He was on fire for a while. It just looked like he wouldn't be stopped. Wan'Dale Robinson went insane in this game in the first 3 quarters. Winston even caught a touchdown. He did a spin move and a stiff arm to get into the end zone. It's pretty incredible. Tracy led the team in carries, but really didn't do all that much against the Lions defense. Gibbs just went insane. Only 15 for 219, 2 touchdowns. Like, if you had 20 something carries, like 25 carries, he may have broken the single game rushing record. That's how good he is. St. Brown was a monster. Gibbs 11 catches as well. Just an insane game from him. But like I said, Jameson Williams did nothing, and that was a huge disappointment because he had been coming on recently, and then he suddenly just had a 0 at a goose egg. It just looked like Dan Campbell was trying to get him more involved, and that didn't happen in this game. Kevin Kovac, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Kevin. Really appreciate it. As a general strategy, do you lean towards stacking quarterback receiver or the alternative of diversifying, e.g. bad game for both versus bad a game for one of them, or both? So it really depends on what sort of league you're doing. If you're doing like best ball in the summer where there's like a million people in it, it's like I think it's like 400,000 or something. Then I like stacking a lot because you need the positive correlation to really have an edge. And in best ball, week 17 is the key. So you want good stacking options in week 17 because that's the championship week, and you're going against like 1,000 people in the regular best ball tournament, whereas like otherwise you're going against like 12 people. So you don't really need the pure upside, but it doesn't hurt either, just because you want the highest score out of 12 people. It's not like you're playing one person in regular fantasy. At that point, it doesn't really matter. If you can stack, that's nice. It's a bonus. Let me just make sure. Okay, I still have Brenton Strange. It's a good bonus to have, but I don't think you really need to. But in best ball, it just makes more sense to do it, especially in the millie, in the million, 2 million, the first contest. I'm actually gonna take Lawrence here and try to get Strange on the way back. Let's see if I can do that. Actually, this guy doesn't have a tight end yet. 2 quarterbacks, 1-1-1. I'm gonna take Lawrence and see if I can get Strange on the way back. We'll see what happens. I'm not like dying if I don't get Strange. Anyway, so but in these sort of best ball drafts, I don't think you really need to do that either. Again, you're trying to play against 12 people. You want the highest score, but in week 17. I think there are only 8 people in the championship because this league is so small compared to the summer ones. So you don't really need to do all that. So it really depends on what sort of league you're in, and always like it doesn't. I don't think it hurts. Like I get what you're saying. If you get you get to like hedge against a bad performance, but I don't know if you should think that way, because if your quarterback has a poor performance, there's a good chance you're not going to win anyway, because quarterback's the highest scoring position. So if your quarterback has just a dud, then, you're probably not going to win anyway. So I'd rather just go for the highest potential point value. So I wouldn't be worried about diversifying. I'd rather stack, but like I said, in regular fantasy, you don't need to stack. It's just a bonus. But in best ball, it's more prevalent, especially in the $1 million contest. So yeah, like I said, it really depends on what sort of league you're doing. So look at that, we got Strange on the way back. That's nice. So speaking of stacking, and it's not even the stacking thing that matters to me, because I wanted a good third quarterback and I wanted a good first tight end. So the stacking was kind of incidental, but like I said, it's a nice bonus. You're welcome, Kevin. Thank you so much for the super chat once again. Thank you so much. All right, let's get back to what we were talking about. Next game, Seahawks 30, Titans 24. The second backdoor cover that hurt us so much. If it wasn't for the 2 backdoor covers, we would have had a winning week. It's just, I don't know. This one hurt more because Seattle was up by 20 the whole game, or most of the game. They were up 23-3. They were up 30-10, and then the Titans got a punt return, and then later in the final minute they got a backdoor cover. I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. Just this whole season's just been horrible variance for us. Luckily, we didn't have backdoor cover going against us in the Niners-Panthers game, so that was at least a positive. I'll say this: Cam Ward he probably had his best game. Now, I get that a lot of it came in garbage time, but he actually scrambled. The fact that he wasn't scrambling, I kind of made me second guess what I was watching in Miami. I'm like, I thought Ward was running around in Miami. Why wasn't he running? Why is he not running in the NFL? And I kind of I was like, is he not mobile? Am I is this Mandela effect? But he actually ran here, and I saw a report saying on either Monday or Tuesday, the coach was talking and said it's part of his development that he just started running. And I'm like, isn't don't mobile quarterbacks run first and then develop not to run? Why is this the opposite? What is happening here? I don't understand. Anyway, Shamari DK 5 for 44 and a touchdown. He actually looks like a legit player. I don't think he's the number 1, but he could be a good number 2 for them down the road. So good game there. Xavier Restrepo actually had 6 targets. I drafted him in the 20th round of best ball earlier tonight. Kenneth Walker, he had way more carries than Charbonnet, 11 compared to 6. He did have some goal line carries, didn't convert. Charbonnet did. I guess Charbonnet is just better at the goal line, but Walker is being used more now than he was before. And JSN, just an insane game. 8 for 167, 2 touchdowns. He almost had a third touchdown, but he was barely out of bounds. This guy is just incredible. So yeah, cool to see that, and I was glad to play him in DFS and min cash because of it. But like I said, it could have been a much better day if Adunze and Jameson Williams just came through for me, and they did not. I did play 4 receivers, by the way. James Jason was my flex. I played Mitchell Tinsley for 3,000, the flat minimum, and he had a decent game. He caught like 3 passes and the touchdown or something. So I have to pick here. Blake Corum for sure is going to be starred here. Don't need a quarterback anymore. I have 5 receivers, right? So you don't need a receiver. I do need a tight end. There's Theo Johnson, but he hasn't had his bye yet. There's Hawkinson. Let's go with Corum for now, and then we can figure out what we're doing at tight end in a bit. There's Evan Ingram, but his role has diminished a little bit. I'm kind of interested in Hawkinson because we have a new never mind, he just got drafted. I was going to say they have a new quarterback, and he might target Hawkinson a lot for all we know. We don't really know that for sure, but it could happen. Not really trying to take one of 3 Rams tight ends. Mason Taylor is kind of interesting, but maybe not round 14. I think I would actually take Theo Johnson here, even though he hasn't had his bye. Just because there's a lot of upside. Now I'm going to have 3 tight ends anyway, so I don't necessarily need him. I'm comfortable with Strange and maybe Gesicki after that in week 14. So I think it's okay to take Theo Johnson round 14. You can't take these guys early, but I think this is pretty good value for him. So we're going to take Theo Johnson and then take another tight end later. Okay, so yeah, you can see our team here. We had a question. Long-time listener, first-time commenter. Thanks for commenting and listening for a long time. What do you think about Hampton and Bucky? Actually, I think I answered that question earlier. Hampton, I would like him a lot if the blocking was there. The problem is that the Chargers have this severe offensive line issues. Like their tackles are both out. Even their third tackle was out prior to their bye. Now he might be back, Bobby Hart, but still, like they can't block at all. And so in against really good matchups, you might get some good performances out of Hampton, but against like even average run defenses, I really don't see Hampton doing much. Now he'll catch some passes out of the backfield. He won't be completely useless, but the situation is just a lot different than it was to start the year. So I'm not in love with him. And then Bucky Irving, I would love him if we knew that he's going to get the workload, but we don't know. Like Sean Tucker has been so impressive. He's overtaken Rashad White. Is he just going to disappear now that Bucky Irving's back? Like, we just don't know. And we don't know if they're going to work Bucky in slowly and stuff. And plus, remember, with no Mayfield, teams are just going to stack the box against Bridgewater. So Bucky can still get there as a receiver at the backfield. He can catch passes, obviously, but I don't love either running back right now. If their circumstances are different, then I'd feel a lot stronger about them. Like, nothing to do with the talent at all. They're both super talented. I love Bucky. I love Hampton, but their situations are just pretty bleak right now. So yeah, they're okay. They're just okay. I'm not in love with them though. So thanks for the comment, Adrian Beat Yerson. Thank you so much. Anyway, let's see. So we're going to be coming up in round 15 in shortly. I still have Mason Taylor here. Gesicki is gone. I don't see him. So I like I said, I took him around this range in my previous draft. So I guess like people caught onto it. He was going way too late. But Mason Taylor has looked good, so I'm comfortable with him as my 3rd tight end. You need 3 tight ends in best ball just because, injuries happen. There's no waiver wire, obviously, in best ball. So if someone gets hurt, you need guys to step in, and it's just so devastating to score a 0 at a position. So you just need to have 3 solid players at every position. 3 tight ends, 3 quarterbacks, and I would say at least 6 running backs and at least 7 receivers. And then you have like 1 bonus spot. You could add an 8th receiver or 7th running back, or I've done a 4th tight end before. Not like crazy about doing that, but yeah. There's Brian Robinson, who hasn't had his bye. Maybe next round. I have 4 running backs. No, let's take Taylor, and then we'll figure out running back after that. So anyway, let's get to the next game, which is Packers 23, Vikings 6. JJ McCarthy, so bad. How do you not get to 100 passing yards in today's NFL? That's embarrassing. 2 interceptions as well. He is concussed It's like Minnesota terms for benched, I guess. He is. I didn't see this concussion. I don't know, or maybe he's been playing with a concussion the whole time, and that's why he's been so bad. That would be the best news possible for the Vikings. Like, oh, McCarthy's been so bad because he's been concussed for weeks. That's like that's if I were a Viking fan, I found that out, I'd be like, whew, he's not that bad. But no, he looks horrible. He looks absolutely horrible. Jefferson's so frustrated with him. 4 for 48. He's barely like our third round player at this point. Hawkinson 4 for 19. Addison did not catch a single pass, one target. Like, does McCarthy knows that he exists? Like, it's this embarrassing. So we'll see what Brosmer does. Brosmer is out of New Hampshire. He's a smart guy. He's accurate in the intermediate. He's good mechanics, good footwork. Like, he's not a raw guy at all. The problem is he has no arm strength. I'm up right now. It's not good. Let's say Keaton Mitchell. The problem is he has no arm strength at all. Like at all. And he has no athleticism either. So at best he's gonna be QB2 for his career. Like, that's at best. So he has no chance as a starter. He might just be a QB3 at this point. There's just zero upside with him. So I don't see the Vikings doing anything against Seattle this week. Then we have the Packers. Love, not a great game, but not a bad game either. He was pretty solid. Emmanuel Wilson, though, 28 of 1 and 7, 2 touchdowns. Pretty much slid into the Josh Jacobs role and looked good. So we'll see if Jacobs comes back on Thanksgiving. We don't know that yet. Christian Watson, once again, led the team in receiving. 5 for 49. Not bad considering that Jordan Love only threw 21 times. So, there were only 40 pass attempts, I guess, unless you want to count Willis as one. There were only 40 pass attempts in this game. This game ended like 3:40. It didn't even like last 2 hours or 45 minutes. That's how fast this game was. Just if I'm a Viking fan, I don't know how I'm thinking right now. Just kind of figuring out who to get this offseason, because they can't go into the year with just McCarthy and Brosmer. They need to figure something out. I don't even know who they can get, because a lot of the promising young quarterbacks are maybe not even promising, but the most viable options are still on the contract. Like Mac Jones, for example, he's under contract. Tanner McKee from the Eagles, he's under contract. A bunch of those guys are still under contract. I think the Vikings need to call Tim Boyle's agent. It's sad that he is Tim Boyle might just be better than all these guys. It's really a sad state of affairs. So you're right. Let's get Tim Boyle's agent on the line. Let's get Tim Boyle into the building. I don't know. Like, if you're a Viking fan, how do you feel right now? It's just they had Darnold, they had Daniel Jones, and they got rid of both of them. And once they did that, I wasn't a fan of McCarthy in the draft. I thought he was a third-round prospect. And then I kind of talked myself into it this summer, because I'm like, you know what? They had Darnold. He had a great year. They could have kept him, and they decided to go with McCarthy. Kevin O'Connell is a very smart offensive coach. He must see something in McCarthy that I didn't. Okay, I'm fine with it. And I drafted McCarthy quite a bit in best ball. That was a big mistake. That was a huge mistake. So, I don't know. And huge mistake for McCarthy too. Like that could cost him his career. It's kind of crazy. So, I'm sure he'll get another chance, because he's had success. A 14-3 season. I don't think he's going to get fired at the end of this year, but man, this is really bad. Let's go with Tank Bigsby in case Saquon goes down. I guess you should always have a high-end backup like that. So we have 2 guys on auto draft, by the way. It's like, I get this. If this were free, this is $16 draft. So these guys are basically just throwing $16 away just to just to be in here for some reason. I don't understand. I get that. I get that there are like life circumstances, like and I'm guilty of this too. Like I once entered a draft, and this is like 2 a.m. and it was taking a while to fill, and I passed out on the couch, and I woke up. It was like 3:30, and like the first thought that came to my mind is like, wait, don't I have a draft? And I was like, oh no. And then like I went in, and the 20th round was happening, and I looked at my team, had like a bunch of guys who were on IR, so I was the guy on auto draft there, so I can understand, but like. It happens so often. Like, these guys can't all be asleep, right? It's only 11:40. I don't know. Maybe that's late for some people. I don't know. Anyway, let's still take Brashard Smith. I have 6 running backs. I need some receivers. I have 5 receivers. The problem is these guys are all injured. I could take Matthew Golden. I don't mind. Joshua Palmer here. Not great options, obviously, but you need a depth here. And just in case guys go down, or, you need a couple points here and there, could make the difference. So Golden, he's a rookie. Let's see if we have a status update on him. He's limited on Tuesday. All right, let's take him, see what happens. Not expecting a lot here, but he could maybe be okay for me 1 or 2 weeks. And we have 2 more rounds to go. So let's get to the next game, which is Cowboys 24, Eagles 21. Great comeback for the Cowboys. They're down 21-0. Looked like they're going to get embarrassed once again at home, and they storm back. And the Eagles can't close out games because of Saquon Barkley. They blow big leads all the time. They did it against Tampa. They did it against Denver. They almost blew a lead against Minnesota. It's just commonplace for them at this point, and I think that's what's really going to do them in the playoffs. If they eventually lose, getting Lane Johnson back will help. Get a running game going with Barkley, but it's not like Barkley was that great with Lane Johnson earlier. But Lane Johnson has been completely healthy, so maybe if he returns and is healthy, that'll help. AJ Brown finally had a good game this year, 8 for 110, a touchdown, maybe sign of things to come, which could be a good thing for the Eagles. Actually, that's obviously a good thing for the Eagles, but they need some good things just because the running game is so defunct. Devontae Smith's 6 for 89. Barkley at least had a good game as a receiver out of the backfield. And there's George Pickens, who went before CeeDee Lamb in this draft. I don't know if that's correct, but based on past performances, past few weeks, that is correct. 9 for 146 and touchdown. This guy's awesome. Why'd the Steelers trade with him again? Like, I still don't understand. I didn't get it at the time. I still don't get it. I know he was a little troublesome in the locker room, but the Cowboys don't see the line, right? CeeDee Lamb 4 for 75, Jake Ferguson 5 for 60, Javonte Williams not a great game, but against the Eagles it's a pretty good stat line, and Dak 354 passing yards. How can Philly's run game be this bad? So they're missing. What they had Mekhi Becton last year, who was really a monster for them in run blocking. Lane Johnson's not completely healthy either, so that hurts. So you have diminished blocking, and teams are playing against Barkley. They're playing closer to the line of scrimmage too. With AJ Brown being banged up for most of the year, so. Once they get Lane Johnson back, also Cam Jurgens has been in and out of the lineup too. Like he's not been healthy. So the Eagles' offensive line is clearly diminished from last year. But if Lane Johnson returns and is fine, then things could turn around for sure. I need at least one more receiver here. I don't know who I'm taking. Trey Harris, I guess. I don't know. There's really no one left. I'm not seeing anyone. Isaiah Bond. I don't know. Isaiah Bond did catch a touchdown, right? Yeah, 2 targets. I don't know. Let's take Restrepo in round 20. I'm gonna take Trey Harris. I guess he's a rookie. He might get a post-bye rookie bump, but with that offensive line, it's just hard to trust. Do you think Jacobs will play? I really want to ditch Wilson. Need space. What did the Packers in the report say? Jacobs is. They don't have one for this week yet. All right, hold on. Maybe go to week 13. Okay, yeah. Jacobs is limited. So, I don't know. Could be like 50-50, I guess. I don't know. It's so hard to say. I wouldn't ditch Wilson, though. I mean, he could be a good player for you. Like, what if Jacobs misses again? Like, another time? Like, you're going to race to pick him up, I think you should keep Wilson for sure. I'm projected to lose, but need to win to lock a playoff spot. Which receiver do I play out, a Pittman or a Dunze? Pittman plays the Texans. Dunze does play the Eagles, but we just saw Dak light up the Eagles for 354, albeit like in comeback mode. But I would go after. I would start a Dunze. Pittman just. Sometimes he just hasn't been even the number one receiver on his team. Like Alec Pierce before the bye, a couple games before the bye, he was the leading receiver. So I know Dunze sometimes gives way to other players, but for the most part, he's been the best player, best receiver on the team. So I would go with a Dunze there. But good luck. I hope you end up making the playoffs. Dart, Knicks, or Purdy, 4-point quarterback. Well, you got to know if Dart's playing by the time Knicks and Purdy go off, right? So, I mean, Purdy against Cleveland is a no-go for me. I'm going to take Restrepo here and just close out the draft. And then Knicks plays the Redskins, which is nice. And Dart plays against the Patriots. Knicks has the best matchup, but that didn't even matter against the Raiders when he only scored 10 points. I mean, if I hear that Dart is going to definitely play, I'll go Dart. But you may not know that. So I would say, just to be safe, I'd say Knicks, but it's pretty close between Knicks and Dart right now. Okay, let's go to the remaining games here. Browns 24, Fighting Stores 24, Raiders 10. Geno Smith got sacked 10 times in this game. Kind of crazy to get sacked 10 times in a game. Like, I could see why Chip Kelly was fired. Although on the other hand, I understand that Chip Kelly didn't really have much to work with. Like, how stupid can you be to take a running back and number 6 overall when you have no run blocking, no offensive line? They should have gone Membo at 6, which was their original plan before they changed, and then taken either Henderson or Judkins in round 2, especially given that both of them played for Chip Kelly. That would have made so much more sense. Instead, they took Genty. Just an idiotic move. And Genty's really not doing anything. Like, he's a good receiver in the backfield. Look, it's 8 for 58 and a touchdown. Like, they finally decided to use him as a receiver after the bye, which has helped. But like, overall, just a disappointment as a runner, but it's not really his fault because there's no blocking in front of him. Lockett 4 for 62 is the leading receiver. Brock Bowers 6 for 55, pretty pedestrian for Bowers. And then for the Shadors, 11 for 22 and 9, 1-1. Just keep in mind, 66 yards of Shador Sanders' passing came to a dump off to Dylan Sampson, who went the whole way for a touchdown. So really, he had 133 here. So not great. So not great for 143. Yeah, not great for Shador. But at least, like, he wasn't drifting in the pocket a lot. That was something that really hurt him in the brief action he had against the Ravens. So he didn't really do that. He did a couple times, but it wasn't that bad. So looked like he definitely worked on that in practice. I guess, like, having first team reps helps, I guess. But still not great. But not horrible either. Judkins had 2 touchdowns, but only 16 for 47. Kind of weird that he could only do that against the Raiders. I thought he'd have a better game. Jaguars 27, Cardinals 24. Trevor Lawrence had some great throws in this game. He had some awful throws in this game. 3 interceptions and a lost fumble return for a touchdown. So he's basically like Jameis Winston without any flair. You expect more from a number 1 overall quarterback, which I guess Jameis Winston was also number 1. So I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't expect more. But ATN 15 for 86. Solid game for him. He also had 3 for 30 and a touchdown. Brenton Strange, 5 for 93. I'm glad we took Brenton Strange in our draft. He is Trevor Lawrence's favorite weapon. He's finally back from that injury, so he should have a strong rest of the season. And then Brissett, another big game, 317 and 1 touchdown. He continues to impress, better than Kyler. Michael Wilson, 10 for 118. It was a monster game. McBride, also a monster game, although he didn't catch a touchdown. Dortch, 6 for 53 and a touchdown. Similar stats to what he had last week. Arizona's passing offense has been so much better without Kyler. It's kind of crazy how much better Brissett has been, even though, like, Brissett's not that great of a quarterback, or he's not even a good quarterback. He's probably just average, but he's been so much better than Murray. And I guess Murray's time is probably done. I don't know. You never say never, but you never know. By the way, Arizona's running game just sucks. Bam Knight 10 for 12, but a touchdown, so he salvaged that at least. And then we had Falcons 24, Saints 10. Kirk Cousins had a solid game. His interception wasn't even his fault. It went bounced off Kyle Pitts' hands. Bijan Robinson, only 14 for 70, but the Saints have a really strong run defense. Bijan only 2 catches, though. I was expecting more from him. And Darnell Mooney showed signs of life, 3 for 74 and a touchdown. For the Saints, Tyler Shuck, rough game here, but Atlanta has a really good pass defense. So I think he has a better chance to rebound against the Dolphins next week, who the Dolphins don't have a good pass defense at all. Olave, solid game for 9 for 70. Juwan Johnson, 6 for 46. Devin Neal came in for Alvin Kamara, got hurt. He went 7 for 18 and also 5 for 43. So Devin Neal can be started as long as Alvin Kamara is out. And we had Rams 34, Buccaneers 7. There's not much to say about this game. It's just all Rams. Stafford, 2 touchdowns to Adams. As I said before, Adams has the most end zone targets in the NFL. Nacua led in receiving yards, but Adams did all the work at the goal line. So, like, yeah, I get Nacua going before Adams, but it almost feels like Adams should go before Nacua. It's kind of crazy to say because Nacua is so great, but Adams is just better, has been better in fantasy just because of his end zone stuff. Parkinson caught a touchdown. I was really tilted here because I was putting my son to bed and I was just keeping track of the game. And I captained Adams, and I had Stafford and Puka, and I thought I had Colby Parkinson as well. And I saw Adams catch a touchdown, I saw Parkinson catch a touchdown, I saw Nacua doing stuff, Stafford obviously throwing. I'm like, oh my God, am I going to win this? This is going to be great. And I went downstairs to see, once my son was asleep, I went downstairs to see how I was doing. And then I saw I wasn't cashing. I'm like, what? And then I noticed that instead of Colby Parkinson, I had Terrence Ferguson as my tight end, and I was so upset. So the winner of the showdown, there's only 3 people. I think it was 3. No, it was I think it was a 5-way tie. I forget what it was exactly, but they had they had a Rams onslaught. They had Adams the captain, which I had, Stafford, Nacua, which I had, Parkinson, which I thought I had, and then they had Rams defense, and then Tez Johnson. That was the winning lineup that won at least, I think, about $30,000. So would have been a nice haul. But unfortunately I did not cash. So that's what happens when you choose the wrong tight end on the Rams. Which happens a lot. With the Buccaneers, Mayfield got hurt, and then he came back, and then he got hurt again. So disastrous day. Ibuka is now not the favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's now Tyrell McMillan, and it's because Mayfield's injured. So Ibuka saw 8 targets, but only 3 for 32. Bridgewater was just throwing passes out of bounds. It was miserable. I suspect he's going to be better. Against Arizona, like he was playing against the number 1 defense in the NFL here. The Rams ranked number 1 APA. So there will be better days for Bridgewater because it can't be that much worse. But the Buccaneers really don't have much of a chance to win that many games with him. So Mayfield has to hurry back. But, if he's going to be playing hurt, then it may not matter really. And then let's see if we have any questions. This is a different window. Let's see. Yeah, some questions here. Should I play BTJ if he's good to go at all over Dunze? No, I'd rather play Dunze than BTJ. BTJ just hasn't even been good this year when he's been healthy. So I don't think he's a terrible play, but I think Dunze is the way to go. Coming off bad injury though, has a great matchup. Yeah, I mean he does, but there's no guarantee he's gonna be healthy. And like I said, he really hasn't done much this year. So how could there not be defensive touchdown on the Browns Raiders mess? I don't know. It's so many times they could have been a defensive touchdown. Like I saw so many passes from Geno where like the Browns corner is just trying to sit on it and jump the other way. And I swear I saw them like do that a couple of times. It just didn't happen. And then Shador, how does he not like? I know they were ahead, so like didn't have to throw that much. But still, you would think Shador would let one go the other way. I don't know. I thought there would be at least one. That was really disappointing. Just the disappointment overall in that game. All right. So last game, 49ers 20, Panthers 9. Quite the downfall for Bryce Young, who threw for 450 the week before. And I remind everyone again, it was against a jet-lagged Falcon team flying back from Germany for 11 hours and didn't take the bye for some reason. So no surprise that they were flat in that game and just couldn't do anything. So Bryce Young, before and after that 450 game, before he scored 7 points against the Saints, and then which a team that Kirk Cousins just lit up, and then now only 9 points against the Niner team with 0 pass rush. 2 interceptions too. This guy is not good. It's not good at football. He'll have a good game occasionally, but overall he just stinks. Rico Doodle, he had 6 to 3 carries, didn't really get a chance to run all that much. He did have 4 catches for 36 receiving yards, so that's nice. McMillan caught a touchdown. Like I said, McMillan is now the favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, but that's pretty fluid. It's pretty close between McMillan, Ibuka, and Jackson Dart right now. And then for the 49ers, Brock Purdy, those 3 interceptions in the first half. It looked like he was trying to give the game away. He was better in the second half, but he did a lot of safe throws to Kittle and Christian McCaffrey. I was kind of upset Christian McCaffrey didn't get there in receptions at the end because we bet him at 9+ and 10+. It looked like he caught his eighth pass. They called it a carry, but it was definitely a catch. But then not that it didn't matter. We still would have lost, but still, I was pretty upset about that. I even texted Evan. He's the one who recommended that one to me. I'm the one who came up with Kittle over receiving yards, but he said McCaffrey over receptions, and I thought it was a good play. But yeah, just didn't get there. And I texted him like, "How's that not a catch?" Like, so upset. But like I said, it didn't matter. Pearsall only 2 for 6. He did get in a target in the end zone, so maybe he's starting to come on. He might be like a good buy low guy, like if you get him like thrown in for a trade, or he might be on the waiver wire too. I would consider picking him up just because he was so good to start the year. He's just not healthy, but that could change any week. So actually, now that I think about it, they have a week 14 bye, so maybe you want to just add him during the bye week. Yeah, outside of that, I mean, McCaffrey is great. Kittle is great. Nothing else to say about this game. And yeah, that's it for this week. So yeah, it's usually 2+ hours show here. I thought I'd do it less by myself. It's hard to talk for 2 hours, just on your own. And plus, it's a Thanksgiving week, so I need to do some stuff to prepare for the Thanksgiving games, Black Friday, and stuff like that. Plus, the usual stuff. Need to start doing my 2026 NFL mock draft update, which I'll be doing as soon as the show's over. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching and commenting. Really appreciate it. Thank you especially to Kevin Kovac for the $5 super chat. Really appreciate it, Kevin, as always. You really keep the show going. Just can't say that enough. It's just really appreciate it. All right, guys. I hope you have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow with Andy Isco doing our Week 13 NFL picks against the spread. Andy said he's coming on, so we'll have Andy on. We'll have Evan on Thursday. Those are confirmed, and I'm pretty sure Friday is my high school reunion. It's my 25th and high school reunion. I still don't know if I'm going. My wife is trying to talk me out of it because she's like, "Where is it?" And I'm like, "It's something called the Felt Factory." And she's like, "Where's that?" And I told her the address. She's like, "That's in the slums." And I looked it up, and it looks pretty dodgy. I did the street view. There's graffiti all over the place. There are row homes, and then there's also there's like this random car in someone's parked in someone's backyard. It was the weirdest thing I've seen. It's like, why is this random car parked in someone's backyard, like fenced in? I'm like, what is this car doing there? So I was like why are we having this reunion in the slums of Philadelphia? Why aren't we having it in the suburbs where there's no crime? I don't know. I feel like I'm not gonna drive down there. My friend Patty was offering to drive me, or maybe my friend Amnifrol will drive, but I was like if I drive down there, my hubcaps would be stolen, and everything out of my car would be stolen. So not really eager to go, especially that we have to pay $85 and not get any drinks. It's like $85. You get a photo booth, which is cool. Except we have these phone things right here that take pictures. So why are we spending money on a photo booth? It's kind of silly. Anyway, should I cut Otten or Barner? I'd say Otten just because Mayfield's out. Barner has some high ceiling games. He has some low floor games too. We just kind of have to roll with it. But I like the potential of Barner. Otten's not going to do much with Bridgewater. He'll be okay, but nothing special. I'd rather have Barner. So, all right, guys. So thank you so much once again. We'll be back tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great night. Please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Is Mayfield confirmed? He's week to week. So I would be shocked if he plays this week. The Buccaneers are 3-point favorites over the Cardinals. They'd be favored by 5.5 or 6 if it was Mayfield. So Vegas thinks he's going to be out. The question is week 14, I think. And that's probably 50-50. So I would, if I had to bet, I'd say he's going to be out for 2 weeks. And then he'll come back, but he may not be 100% when he comes back, so that's the issue with him. What if he's not 100%? You're just trotting out Otten with an injured quarterback, So I'd rather have Barner. So I mean, good luck though. Hope that works out. Does that affect Bucky's value heavily? Not heavily, but teams will clamp down on the run a little bit more. I think the big issue for me is Sean Tucker just going to go away, and is Bucky 100%? A lot of question marks, a lot of unknowns. Like I don't know. We'll have to see. I wouldn't be too confident starting Bucky. Like I had a chance to draft him tonight. I think. Let me pull that draft. I don't think he was available. Let me see. Round 3. Yeah. So I had a chance to draft Bucky at 308. I took Breece Hall instead. I would have taken him at 405 if I needed a running back. But third running back's fine there. But like I said, a lot of question marks. Because he can catch passes out of the backfield too. So I don't really care if the Buccaneers are behind, because he's not really going to be phased out. Like ideally they'd be ahead, but still, like I just don't know how healthy he is. I don't know if Sean Tucker's going to go away, like I said. So it's a big question mark right now with him. So yeah, I would love to see him be healthy, because I drafted him a bunch in best ball. I have him in one league as well. I just haven't been able to use him, but yeah, hopefully he does come back, and I'm wrong, but he's just a big question mark. So all right, guys, like I said, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit walterfootball.com for tons of content, free content about the NFL every single day. We have a bunch of new content, and we'll be back tomorrow with Andy talking week 13 NFL picks against the spread, and I will talk to you then.